All right, so evaluating expressions involving sign terms. So one of the things when we evaluate an expression, we want to combine all its term values. So instead of adding and subtracting left to right, we combine term values in any order. This is what composition allows us to do. It allows us to group and combine terms that we want in the order that we want. So if we have an expression like um, the -9 plus 11 plus 7, -11, we look at it instead as four separate terms and realize that these terms can be combined in any order we want. So we're going to look for nice terms to combine and keep track of answers as we go. So if we notice we have a term, we have a positive 11 and a negative 11. Well, if we combine those, we're going to get 0, and they're going to offer nothing to our value. So those are easy to combine, and they're easy to keep track of. The only terms I need to combine are -9 and positive 7. So these are opposites of each other. The -9 we can maybe think of as debt. 7 is money in your pocket. If I find my net worth, um, I'm still going to owe $2. So this would be a -2 when I combine those. So the idea that we're using is really important, this numeracy idea. It's the ability to efficiently and accurately evaluate mathematical expressions. Basically showing us how to group nice terms to combine first will increase our numeracy. And that's what we're learning to do here. So math is not as restrictive as you thought it was. We do not have to add subtract left to right. Um, now that we understand how to read math as terms, then once we have our separate terms, and again, remember the terms are separated by plus or minus outside of parentheses. So right in front of every positive and negative sign is basically starting a new term. So these terms can be combined in any order we want. So before I do anything, I want to look for really nice terms to combine. Well, again, I'm looking for opposites. I'm looking for those zero pairs, basically opposite terms. Those are really easy to compare or combine. So a -13 and a positive 13, we're going to combine those and get 0. So we don't need to worry about it. Maybe what we can do is then there's no opposites. So let's do all of our positive terms first. So here's 26 and positive 4. So if we combine those together, we're going to get a positive 30. So I just want to keep track of my answer when I do those. And then let's combine the -12 here and the -8. So -12 and -8, they're both negative, so we just add. This would be a -20. So now we have these two terms. A positive 30 and a -20 would be a positive 10 for my answer. So again, we want to look at all the terms first before we start combining. So the idea when we see problems like this in math is that we're trying to get you to take advantage of these things and not like torture you with these big numbers or something. So do you really need a calculator? And the answer is no if you're looking at the terms first. If you're looking at the separate terms and we realize we can combine in any order, well, here we have opposites. We have a -141 and a positive. So if we combine those, that's just 0. So the terms we need to combine are a -187 and a positive 188. And the nice thing about these numbers, I mean, they're opposites, but they're only one apart from each other. So if you have $188 in your pocket and you owe 187, then you still have $1 left. I mean, so those are actually nice numbers to combine because they're so close together. Even with fractions, we might be thinking, oh my gosh, these fractions are terrible, right? Ick. But if we look at the terms first and realize that some of these terms are opposites, so I have a -2/7, and then I have a positive 2/7 over here. These terms are opposites. If I combine them, then they're 0. And the same thing, I got a positive 5/8 and a negative 5/8. These two terms are 0. Well, the only term I have left is this negative 3/5. And before before I did this problem, I thought I had to add fractions, and now I just realized it was nothing. It was just opposite fractions everywhere. So again, we don't want to evaluate left to right. We want to evaluate the terms in the order that we want. You don't have to rewrite the terms either. You can leave the terms there, just keep track of the ones you do. That's why I'm using like the canceling, the lines going through to show that I'm calculating with them. And finally, the last one, again, these are some big numbers, but maybe they're actually easier to combine than you think. So here, instead, I might not want to combine all my negative numbers and all my positive numbers. Maybe what I can do is combine the ones that are in or that are close to each other. So the positive 118 and the negative 120. So these are actually pretty close to each other. And I can combine these, I would have a negative 2 left. So the 118 and 120 is only 2 apart from each other. So that means I would still owe $2, right? Because there's more negative. And the same thing with the negative 819 and the positive 820. These numbers are actually close together with respect to the positive and negative. So they're easier to combine. So 820 is only 1 away, so that would mean I would have a positive 1 left. So then negative 2 and 1 is negative 1, right? So again, it's make sure you pay attention, look at all of your terms first, and then combine them in the order that you want. Do not combine left to right. So I'll just go back to that key. Um, instead of adding and subtracting left to right? What we're going to do is combine term values in any order we want. That is such a big thing, and we'll be doing it a lot. Composition of math, once we understand it, will allow us to do things like this.